This is the Serrano Brothers podcast.
All right, my brother, we are back. And we just got back from the rostered minister gathering.
Yeah, it was in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah, I really like this event. It is every 3 years, and basically all of the rostered leaders in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America get together for a time of encouragement and fellowship and education. And this is our second time going. The first one we went to was, where was that one?
Phoenix.
Well, that's right. It was so hot in Phoenix. Remember that?
Man. And I think the way they're doing it, Jer, is like they'll host the roster leaders gathering, and that's where church-wide assembly will be at that year too. So remember, it was the roster leaders gathering, and then it was the the church-wide assembly. And so I think
Is church-wide going to be in Indianapolis?
I think so, yeah.
I bet you
So
it
it makes
saves them
sense.
money. Right.
Yeah. It totally makes sense to host both of them. It's kind of like a, little prelim to it. There's about, I heard 700 pastors there. So
that 700 rostered people or just 700 clergy?
Sorry, 700 rostered folks there
who
are
just making sure.
Yeah, just who registered there.
We can't erase our deacon.
No, I wasn't trying to do that. But
we have good friends that are deacons, and
we try not to erase them,
exactly. They're part of the roster too.
Yes, they are 100%. They do God's work. I mean, they're just, yeah. So let's talk about first, the main room, kind of what the experience was for you.
All right. Before we get into that, let's talk about what the schedule's like.
Oh yeah.
So that people kind of know what it is. If you've ever been to any standard conference, that's what this is, where you get together and there is a session in the morning, and then there's a small break, and then there are workshops in the afternoon. And what I really liked about the way they did this is there wasn't really programming at night. So the first night was the only night they had programming, because that's we all get together, have a worship service, and open it on Monday night, right? Tuesday night was totally open. Wednesday night was
the banquet.
A banquet, but there wasn't any speakers or anything like that. It was just, there was some speakers, but it wasn't heavily programmatic. It was just, I don't know how to even explain it. Just information, and then worship on Thursday morning.
Yeah, which we didn't go to because we flew out on Thursday morning.
We flew. Yeah, right. I wish we would have been able to stay, but we'd been gone. I'd been gone too long. What I really liked about it is it was just the right amount of stuff for us to do.
Totally. It wasn't trying to do too much.
Right. I often find when we go to educational things, it's too much. There's just way too much information, too many options, and I end up not going to things because I've already done too much that day.
Yeah, totally.
And I felt like this was the right mixture of rest and education and network building, which I think is an undervalued part of when people think about going to an event like this.
Yeah.
That it's a really good opportunity to meet people who you've never met before.
Totally.
But maybe you have a connection on Facebook. I've met several people who I have met on the ELCA clergy page. And and we've interacted on there, but we've never interacted in person. And it was really good just to be able to sit down with them and have real human connection outside of the algorithm.
Totally. Totally. I agree with you wholeheartedly about that. I think the networking was a really great opportunity to I know that I met a few people that I'm Facebook friends with or I've met on the clergy page as well. And that was just a cool opportunity to be like, okay, this is, like we have a real human connection now other than the algorithms, right?
Eh, But also, I know you well enough that you went outside of your comfort zone to meet new people.
I was more, yeah, my goal was to be more intentional this time, meeting people, and meeting people outside of my sphere of friends and colleagues, and that's not always easy for me to do. I know that I'm an extrovert and stuff, but like I like to keep to my people, and like people that I know, the people that I'm comfortable with. But I made a concerted effort this time to go out and meet some new people or people that I had like loose acquaintances with. Um, and that was good. That was real nice. And I think one of my core values is connection. And so I tried to kind of live into those values as much as the other side was like, just hang out with your friends, was pushing against me. So
Right. And it's so easy to go to these events, especially if you don't know anybody. And if you don't put in the work to purposely make connections, um, I think it'll be a lonely time.
yeah,
But you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone and really connect with people. And what I thought was a lot of fun was there were some people we met in Arizona 3 years ago who I think, had drinks with at the hotel just
well,
because we were
yeah,
getting to know people, and then we saw them again, and we had that brief connection. It was like, "Oh, yeah, we met 3 years ago," and so, um, I felt like the network was getting bigger and bigger that we have, but also that it was really connecting us to uh, the broader church and the broader leadership of the church.
totally, totally. Um, I think that's yeah. I think that's the just in the connecting part, and there are plenty of opportunities for that, right? Just in terms of connections, right? There's the I mean, there's they on Tuesday night they had basically all the seminaries hosted their own alumnus happy hour, right? Or whatever it was, hosting an event, so we went to the PLTS one, which was really good, right? And there we got to see, I mean, I got to see people that I had went to seminary with who I haven't seen in 15, 16 years,
Right.
and so that was really good to reconnect in person with them. A couple people that
Shout
I
out
didn't.
to Katie Grimberg and Sarah Wilson for putting on a really good event.
Yeah. I mean, they really did pull it together very well. Um, so yeah, and then that was an opportunity also, like some of our synod staff went to PLTS too. And so like, oh good, we get to connect with them. And that was really great. Um so uh so yeah, like that was the connecting piece was really good. The dinner on Wednesday night was also a great opportunity to connect with folks. They hosted kind of like receptions. I think all the seminaries hosted a reception beforehand. It's just all people gathered in the room and having drinks and appetizers, and it was just an opportunity to mingle and talk with people. And so I thought that was really great. I
And
got to
begin
talk
the
to a couple bishops, and that was really fun to be able to connect in that way and talk just about other things, right? Not necessarily talking about the church, but just life. And it was good. It was real good.
for to really kind of be connected together and not always make it about the business of the church. It's important for us to just be in each other's lives. Because here's the thing, ministry is lonely. It can be
Andy, yeah.
lonely. And the only one who's responsible for our own self-care is us. And so if we can't, as pastors, just sit around and say, well, we don't have any connections, we don't have any friends, we don't have, like, it's our responsibility to go out there and make friends. It's our responsibility to go out there and be with our colleagues, and not just be passive in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes work. Right.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was so bothered. There was somebody on the clergy page who said that these things are click fests,
Mm.
where everybody has a click. And I'm like, so you mean people go with their friends? Sure. But also, I broke into other people's friend groups because it's my responsibility to do that.
You're taking it upon yourself to do things like that.
Right.
Right. Right. And, honestly, I wonder, and I'm not saying that the leadership of the gathering should do this, but it's like, maybe there should be reception for people who went alone and want to make more connections. You know what I mean? But there are plenty of opportunities during the happy hours and just to go out there and start meeting people. Like there's so many great opportunities for that.
Right. But you have to be willing to just walk up to somebody and go, hi, my name is Jeremy. I'm from California, at the Sierra Pacific Synod. Where are you from? And just meet them. I wonder if our online age has given us too much anxiety about doing.
Yeah, for sure.
I was at a... Go ahead.
No, I know that I have anxiety about this. I remember I was, where was I? I was at this event with my wife. It was she's part of this thing called the FPA in San Francisco, and she's like, "Oh, will you come with me to this event?" And I'm like, "Oh, I gotta," like, my anxiety is like, "Oh, I gotta meet new people, and I gotta, like, what are we gonna talk about? We don't do the same thing, And then I get there, and I'm like, I just, one of the things that I've learned is like, talk more about them than I talk about me, right? Like, ask them questions about their lives, and you'll quickly find people love to talk, and you can easily make connections that way. As long as I just don't make it too much about me and I make it more about who they are and my curiosity about their lives, you can meet almost anybody, and it go pretty well. So,
And I think you're hitting on something important, that when you really want to make a connection with somebody, you have to take a real interest in their lives.
yeah, for sure.
And ask them questions and try to find a connecting point.
Totally.
One of the questions that I purposely asked people a whole lot at this gathering was, what do you do for fun?
Love it. Yeah.
And just, I met some guy who was Doug in Nebraska, really into improv, like heads up an improv troupe. And I was like,
So
holy
cool.
cow. I would have never guessed that was his thing. And then I met somebody else, Eric, I think his name was, and he was super into astrophotography and
It is like
taking pictures of the stars.
Oh, that's cool.
Astro, whatever it is. And I was like, dude, show me pictures. Of course he had pictures on his phone, right? Like, and he was showing me photos, and it was just really cool to learn about all of the stuff that clergy like to do outside of ministry.
Totally. Love it. That's great. It's a great way of doing that.
So let's talk about the main room, right? So there are several big sessions that happen Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, and then Thursday morning as well. Were there any highlights for you?
There was a couple. What's her name? Dr. Teresa Smallwood.
Yeah.
Her talk about, well, the theme of the whole thing was woven together, right? So all of the theme was about woven together, right? And Dr. Smallwood, I'm sorry, Dr. Smallwood's talk was about being woven together with the breath of God, right? Like, and it was beautiful to me. I really appreciated their talk. I thought that was really good. And then there was also an Episcopalian there, the Reverend Canon Stephanie Spellers, and actually she's coming to she's going to be working in San Francisco.
St. Gregory of Nyssa, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's
so that
cool.
was cool. And she said, in a world that is ruled by the artificial, we need incarnation.
Amen.
And I just thought that was such a good quote, especially as we move more towards online AI, just the thought that communities in-person faith is what we need even more of. It acts as a counterpoint to that artificial. So I just thought that was super, super good.
And isn't it interesting? I mean, we spent the whole first part of this episode talking about connection, and that was the theme of the whole,
being woven together.
Yeah, being woven together. And we are woven together with people, and we have to have in-person incarnational interactions.
For sure. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Was there any other highlights for you with the speakers or anything like that?
Honestly, I don't remember any specifics about the speakers. All I remember is how life-giving they were. I walked out of each session feeling my soul refreshed, feeling encouraged, feeling like God has me on the right path in doing ministry.
Nice.
It was so good. And but that's what I want from a main stage speaker, right?
Totally.
Is I want to be like refreshed, encouraged, sent out to do the work, right? And unlike the workshops where I want specific information.
So let's talk about the workshops then. I think we went to all the same ones.
Yeah, I think we did.
So let's talk about LeadNet first.
Okay, by the way, this is I got beef with the ELCA Leadership Network because it sounds like the Leadership Network is a huge group of people who get together, who, I don't know, provide resources for being a better leader in the ELCA and making, networking opportunities. And basically what I learned was that it's one guy at the national office and a software program.
Working on a social media platform is what he's doing.
Which does those things, I guess, right?
Right. It's access to those things, but it's basically it's like LinkedIn meets Facebook, right? Like that's kind of the goal of this thing. And it's an intriguing idea. And it seems very cool to be able to access resources. If a church is doing a Bible study that you put on there, like it could be cool. It could be cool to also network with other churches or individuals, within the ELCA. But there needs to be mass buy-in.
Everybody has to sign up for it. Everybody has to use it. And I was I'm preparing this study on the book of Revelation right now. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, how can I film this study so that I can put it on LeadNet so that this is at St. John's, so that Good Shepherd could access it.
That's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. I like it. Yeah, that's good. So that was LeadNet. If you guys, I mean, maybe in the comment section, know more about it. I mean, we basically got it. It's social media, and yeah, but it'll take mass buy-in. So if you listen to this, buy into it.
Go sign up for LeadNet.
Go sign up for it, right?
On the ELCA website.
Because we got to be able to give it a go, right? Like if it's going to work, it's going to take mass buy-in,
Right.
So
right.
The thing is my understanding is it just launched this year. So it's not totally like most people don't know about it yet. And
so if you do sign up for it, listeners, you can be an early adopter on something. Right?
Totally. Totally.
The next constitutions.
Yeah, that was really good. I learned a lot at the Constitution one. There were things that I did not know how constitutions functioned, and exactly what the numbers meant on the Constitution, like and the difference between, the Constitution, bylaws, and what was the third thing?
Continuing resolutions.
Continuing resolutions, right? And how they are incorporated in the body of the Constitution. So I know one church that I've served, they put all of their continuing resolutions in their bylaws in the back of it. And so, but we were encouraged, like, no, actually, because of the numbering system, put it inside of the Constitution, So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't realize that it took 3 meetings to do a constitution, to amend a constitution, or adopt a constitution. Like we're in one of my churches, we just got to have a whole new constitution. So that's going to take 3 meetings basically. So,
right.
Which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think the last time we updated our constitution, we only had 2 meetings.
Really?
And, so we gotta make sure to get that right. What I thought was really interesting was if you're more than 2 years behind on a constitution, that you should just basically start from the model constitution.
Yeah.
And go, like, that was helpful information.
Yeah, that was super helpful.
Because at both my churches, I'm behind 2 years. We're behind 2 years on this.
Right.
So just starting from the model. And then the other advice that I really liked was, don't put the old constitution in front of people. Just give them the new one to look at. Because then it starts getting that everybody starts comparing them, and not just the team who works on it.
That was good.
Was there anything else about the constitutions?
No, that's pretty much it. Oh, and wait until churchwide assembly, until they put out the new one. Like we're coming up to churchwide assembly right now. They'll have a new model constitution for us afterwards. And so wait until then to really, if you're gonna do it, because then you just had to update it again. So I thought that was a pretty good advice.
Yeah. So we're gonna wait until the next go around with churchwide, get the model constitution, and then update both churches. Yeah. Because we also need to update the structure of how we do things. I mean, we have basically, except for our finance team, all of our committees are ad hoc committees. They get together to perform a task.
Yeah, pop-up committees, right?
Yeah, and then they disband. Yeah. And so, but our constitution right now says you have to have this many people on each committee. These are what the committees are. These are what the like you have, this person on council represents finance, this person represents property, this person, I want to make it in our constitution that those people are always liaisons to teams, not the leaders of the teams.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to be the leaders of the teams. Because I find that most people don't want to be on council because they think they have to lead a committee. And we at Good Shepherd, well, in St. John's too, I'm moving us away from that, where our council is functioning as a a a body that is focusing on the mission and the vision of the church and implementing those things.
Yeah, and as churches are smaller, like, it doesn't make sense to have such a in my mind, it doesn't make sense to have such a structure that is so, because then you're just filling seats into committees and, like, really, like, what's the mission, right? And if pop-up committees can do that, do it, and then people don't feel necessarily so tied to a committee and then get burnt out. I see that's the thing, like, and then it's that the Constitution, people serve a constitution instead of the church, right? The Constitution should serve the church, not the other way around.
Right,
You know,
right. And what was the last one we went to?
we went to one on AI. That was a really good one. In my mind, it Dr. Nathan Swenson Reinhold is the one who led it. And I think he did a really good job of kind of breaking that guilt about using AI, you know? Because I use AI I use it for stuff all the time now, and I use it for stuff
Mhm.
because I'm also our church doesn't have an admin. I use it for stuff that like that I don't have to put much thought into, when normally I'd be like, "Ah, how do I word this?" So like the emails that I send out for our like weekly blasts of info of what's happening this week, a lot of that stuff is just organized by AI for me, you know,
Yeah.
uh, and that has cut my work time down in incredible amounts, um, you know, so yeah, that was
My
that was
least favorite part of ministry is admin work.
oh yeah, totally.
And I have found that AI has really helped with it. One of the things he on his slides, he says, "What does an adult, mature approach to AI look like in a world where everything is bifurcated into either blind acceptance or total rejection?" And I so appreciated that because on the social medias, you either have blind acceptance or total rejection of it. And I appreciate that he was trying to raise the level of the conversation. And and how he started the whole thing by saying, "If you're here just to talk about why we shouldn't use AI, this is not the workshop for you."
Right. And I think he did a good job of addressing the concerns people have around AI, water, that kind of stuff, you know. And it makes sense what he said, but like but for me it's like I just want to go like, okay, like that's a good, like that's hopeful, you know. Uh that, you know, it doesn't seem like we're going to have a dystopian with data setters everywhere. Like
Right.
technology is going to get better, hopefully. The chips they'll realize that in order to make this, they're gonna have to make cooler chips that that they're gonna have to find other sources of how to do this, and so although it might be ramping up now, that's not necessarily where we're gonna be staying, It's a hopeful take on it. So, you know, I hope he's right, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing, the cat is out of the bag with AI. It it is going to be as ubiquitous as a Google search.
I mean, it already
And
is, right?
so the question we have to deal with is, how do we use it well? And I appreciated that he said that the better your prompts are, the less energy it uses. So
Mm-hmm.
so if you use it well, it you are using it in an ethical way. But if you're just typing in trash prompts to it, you are causing it to use more energy, to use more water. So therefore, make sure your prompts are on point.
Right. Yeah, and I was talking with somebody like um in my church, and I'm in Silicon Valley. I'm near Silicon Valley. I'm right on the edges of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking about the future of AI, and he was telling me it's going to be in the promptings. It's going to be people learning how to do promptings. Like the thought process is going to be, do you know how to prompt this thing to deliver what you want? And that's going to take an education too, right? Um, One of the things that Nathan said was, you're not going to lose your jobs to AI. You're going to lose your jobs to somebody who knows how to use AI. And
Right.
I just thought that was really interesting,
Yeah.
because that makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And he has another slide. He says glasses don't replace your eyes. They augment your vision so that you can clearly see what was previously blurred. AI is a cognitive prosthetic. When leveraged correctly, it does not replace your thinking, it augments your insight, expanding what you're capable of seeing and doing.
Yeah. Right.
Because here's the thing, you can type into AI, write a sermon for Pentecost 22,
Sure. Sure.
but that's a trash prompt. You're not going to get anything good from that.
It'll be so generic.
But you can have a conversation with it like you would have a conversation with another pastor about where you think you want to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it will help you clarify and see things and provide more insight and ideas
Oh, yeah. I know
for
that
then
I
you.
put a few sermons in, and I've been like, where are the holes in this? You know?
Mhm,
And it'll tell me, like, the like the connections between these 2 points, they could be a little stronger, you
mhm.
know? I'm like, "Oh, you're right. Let's figure this out," So, that's kinda what I like it for, you know? Is
I
for
I I
how is it filling in the holes in my game, you know?
I and not only that, I have used it where I've had, like, I had the main sections of the sermon, but I couldn't get from the first section to the second section. Transitions are always the hardest thing for me. And so I gave it the first paragraph and I gave it the second paragraph, and I asked it to help me with a transition between these two. And it provided 3 transitions. One of them was kind of what I wanted, and I was able to use it as a base to then uh, uh, provide a good transition. But that is also something that I've done with my wife before. And so where so it's not, I don't think that that is me somehow using AI in an unethical way, but just like I would ask you or my wife, like, hey, I can't get from here to here. You got any ideas on this? It does the same thing.
Totally. Totally.
So I think AI for us is a good conversation partner.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also think, in terms of being a conversation partner, like, we still, like, that's not to say that we don't need to be educated, right? Because I remember having a conversation with AI about something with Lutheran theology and communion, and it spit and this was before it got better at it's not ghosting, but
Hallucinations.
hallucinations, right? And so I have all of Luther's works. And so it's like, oh, here are these couple quotes from Luther's works. They were too perfect. And so I was like, I'm going to go look them up. And it was totally a hallucination. And I was like, but, I have an education. I know what smells bad and what doesn't. An average person may not know. They may not
Right.
know.
Somebody
That
who's
doesn't
this
smell like
isn't their
Luther's work.
field wouldn't know
Right.
that.
Right. So
Yeah, and I mean, Nathan did say that hallucinations are getting less and less. And we do have to be educated because we have to be educated enough to prompt it and well.
yeah.
Right, because everybody agrees AI is biased.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that we have to do is teach it how to be biased in our way. So I want my AI to be biased towards ELCA Lutheran theology.
Yes. Totally. Yeah, so that was a good one. And that was, I think, the most full one that I was part of was the AI one.
I think I got the most out of the AI one.
Yeah, I thought it was super, super good. Are there any other ones I think that was it for the
Yeah, that was it for the workshops.
Yeah, that was it for the workshops. Otherwise it was really good, sitting at the hotel lounge area and just connecting with people, I thought was really great. Yeah, the whole event, Jarrett, I would recommend. And I don't know if you've ever been to a minor league game, but we went to a minor league game together, and that was just so much fun. We went to a Indians Mud Pens game. And it was just, there's only 8,000 people in the stadium. So much fun. So much fun to go to a minor league game like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm with you, Josh. I think that all rostered clergy should be required to go to this event.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of rostered clergy, right? But I think people should make an effort. The only thing I would change, honestly, Jer, the only thing I would change about it is I'd require bishops to go.
Yes.
Right? Because bishops are not required. Like they're required to go to the youth gathering. Every bishop is at the youth gathering, right? And I would actually have a like maybe one of the workshop sessions is, hey, if you're looking for a new call, network for this session with the bishops, so that at least there's a face to a name, right? It's just an informal networking session.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only thing I would say, just because it allows people the opportunity to get a face to a name, and
yeah, and for bishops and maybe even, like bishop staff along with them to talk about what it means to move to South Dakota. Right? Like, I'm not sure I would ever consider a call there. I don't know what it means to move there, right? I'm a California boy, right? And so that is a really good idea to have the bishops there, maybe even a bishop staff. And one night, if you're looking for a call, you go and meet bishops.
Yeah, and then it's low stakes. It's low stakes.
Right.
And then you at least get a face to a name.
Right. Right.
Because I'm sure, the way it's done now, I think, is like, it's going to require name recognition, and I think your name pops up on a system, and it's nice to like actually get a face to a name, and a vibe check, so.
There are 4 workshops, 4 2-hour workshops. I think one of the things I would change not change, but add on to, is having like, if a seminary has a certificate program where they, in whatever, where this could be the start of a certificate program where you go through all four, that's 6-hour classes, 6 hours worth of 8 hours worth of classes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can start that and then finish it online, right? So you begin a cohort at the roster administrator gathering and then finish it.
That's a great idea, Jer. I like that.
But
'Cause then
other
you
than
get,
that, I would keep everything else the same. Not too much, plenty of time for networking, encouraging great speakers in our tradition, outside of our tradition. I'm just a big fan of this event.
for sure. For sure.
And it does cost a little bit of money, right?
I mean,
And
it's the cost is I mean, we're talking airfare. We're talking the event is like $375, I think. I think that's what they charged us,
yeah,
right? But part of that cost, and then there's the hotel rooms, right? So those are like the three main costs. Meals come, like you get lunch and dinner.
there was a bunch of meals, wasn't there? We didn't pay for much food.
We didn't really pay for that much food. I mean, there's a couple breakfasts where, I think we paid for, but like that was just on the go, And the way we made it cheap was we uh partnered together with some other colleagues and we got a Airbnb, that reduced the costs for us.
Significantly.
Right. Right. So I think that's it. And, people have 3 years to save up for it, right? If you can save up your continuing ed time. I don't know where it's going to be. Do you know where it's going to be held next year? Did you find out?
I don't.
Or
No,
next
I
3
never
years?
found out.
But I'd like to go again. I'd love
Yeah.
to give it a go. I think a 3-year rotation is perfect.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Maybe we'll do a podcast from the roster administrator gathering
That'd be fun.
where we just highlight people. Come and talk to us. Tell us what you're about.
That would be fun. That would be really fun. It's a good idea.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, friends. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Peace.